Yogaha Karmasu Kaushalam.
Namaskar. Welcome to UGC Human Resource Development Center of Gujarat University, Ahmedabad. This HRDC of Gujarat University, Ahmedabad is one of the pioneering HRDC in organizing various programs. The programs like ARPIT, the programs like Online Refresher Course, the programs like Online Guru Dakshta program, and many more programs. It is the first of its kind which has organized the PhD coursework in blended mode. Friends, we came out with various videos, various series, various lectures to improve the professional development of the people working in higher education in India. Today we are coming out with one more topic on research methodology. I feel proud and very happy to introduce the resource person of today. He is Mr. Manoj Kumar. Manoj Kumar is a name which is known to everybody who is doing research. Friends, you know what is Shodh Ganga? Do you know what is Shodh Gangotri? You must be aware of. Do you know what is Inflibnate? Many a time people remember Manoj Kumar whenever they talk about Inflibnate, whenever they talk about Shodh Ganga, whenever they talk about Shodh Gangotri. He is a man behind this. Manoj Kumar is a scientist E, that is very senior scientist of Information and Library Network Center and Inter-University Center of University Grants Commission situated in Gujarat, which is broadly known as Inflibnate. He has bagged many international and national awards for Inflibnate. He has contributed to the awareness on plagiarism and ethics in research in academia in India and abroad. He is sitting on various committees, various prestigious committees of MHRD and UGC. He has worked on policy and various other levels of research related to higher education in academia. He is one of the strong pillars of Inflibnate. He contributed to the development of Shodh Ganga and Shodh Gangotri of Inflibnate. Let us invite Manoj Kumar ji for his scholarly deliberation.
Welcome back to the second module, which is on integrity and basically focusing on the plagiarism issues. So what we have already seen is we have discussed about the academic misconduct or academic integrity and various terms associated like falsification, fabrication, manipulation of data, cheating. For all this we have discussed in last module. Now let us go in detail about the plagiarism, where I will be basically referring to UGC notification, which is already mentioned in my first talk, which is issued in the year 2018 as an extraordinary Gazette notification. So let us discuss about intellectual honesty and research integrity, which is the second part of the module, where what we discussed, you can see in the screen the terms which we use. And once again, I'm telling you, this is based on the UGC notification, extraordinary UGC notification issued in the 2018 from the Secretary of UGC. And there is another public notice which talks about self-plagiarism. And self-plagiarism is also referred as text recycling in the notice. Now, let us focus on plagiarism. When did you listen first time the word plagiarism? Maybe when you started your PhD or maybe in your post-graduation. But I'm sure that none of you have listened it during your graduate or school days. The online content becomes very imminent for doing research and academic activity. The chances are there people will use that online content in their work as well. So taking somebody's content and using it in your research work is not at all unethical. It's ethical if you follow proper norms. So what plagiarism is defined by UGC is, plagiarism means an act of academic dishonesty or breach of ethics. That means it involves taking someone else's content and presenting as your own. So it also includes data plagiarism and self-plagiarism. And what are the material which generally comes under this? All publications such as articles published in journal or in conference proceedings, thesis, dissertation. In India, it is MPhil dissertations, and even sometimes lecture note. All that comes into. So we'll start saying no to plagiarism. If plagiarism is there in the article, there is mechanism. Higher education institutions should have proper mechanism to detect plagiarism, because all men or all researchers, all students are not honest. So there are chances that sometimes somebody copy and forget the link. So for that only we should use tools. So say no to plagiarism. So first let us try to avoid plagiarism. One way to avoid plagiarism is reading something or putting into your own words. That is the first. You have to read the article or whatever is to be taken, and so that's why something and putting in your own words. This is what is called paraphrasing. The second one is credit the author. What you read and you are not taking credit of it. That means you are giving full credit to original researcher. And if you want to take word by word from some researcher, the best way is use it as a quotation. But how long can be a quotation inside an article? That is to be decided by you and your supervisor. Or at the beginning of the first sentence itself, mention that what comes next is someone else's idea. So you may quote, paraphrase, or summarize, whatever you are doing, but make it clear that it is not yours. That is one way to. Now let us, by knowing about the tools of plagiarism, by avoiding plagiarism, all will not make you a good researcher. The best thing is that you have to do your own work. If you do your own work and write on it, there is no chance of plagiarism coming into that. If you are taking somebody for substantial your claim, then keep careful track of that resources and try to be very clear, precise and clear so that you understand it, and acknowledge to those who contributed. So generally I used to tell that use reference management tools. So use reference management tool. What are the tools which can be used? One is called Mentally, and other one is called Zotero. This can be used, and go to their website. This is an open tool. EndNoteWeb is also there. Rough Manager is there, but that is beyond scope of my topic today. So all this can be used for a researcher for not to forget about you. Now, if you are following all the things, you don't need to listen to the plagiarism tool part. This is what I mentioned. This is the best slide as far as today's presentation is concerned. If you follow everything, attribute, reference, describe all sorts of information, if you try to forget it, you will use one of the reference management tool to remember everything, give acknowledgement. If you are using content from one author and your entire idea is there, better to provide it as a footnote. But some university, footnote is not allowed. So that is to be taken. Some journal also, this format is not allowed. Use quotation mark. If you want to quote somebody, it is better rather than rewriting, take his word as it is. When you change the word, there is a chance that word may get, that meaning of the sentence may get changed. So use quotation mark as it is. So what is quotation mark? You put two quotes between and mention the other. Otherwise, paraphrase the original work, attributor work. If you are using extensive quotation, sometimes if you are a language teacher or PhD doing research on Shakespeare, you have to take most of his work inside your thesis. So that means the similarity will increase when you are using any tool to check, because it is already there available on the internet. So extensive quotation, obtain permission from the original publisher, even though it is your own work. And avoid self-plagiarism from taking permission from the publisher. So extensive quotation also, and your own work, which is published with another publisher, take from the permission from the publisher. Or this you refer UGC here. UGC's public notice. And drawing, data sets, illustrations. If you are taking somebody, that has to be properly acknowledged. Now, we have seen how to avoid plagiarism. Now, let us also see some of the tools. Plagiarism avoiding is the best technique. Why we have IPC in the country? Because people tend to do crimes. So when people tend to do crimes, there should be some checks in the society. So government, IPC, Indian Penal Code is there. Every crime is addressed, which comes under which penal code. You must be knowing many of that. 420, 377, 6. All these are there, IPC code. Why do we need IPC code? If everybody is honest, sincere, we don't need. Similarly, if everybody know how to cite, paraphrase, and quote, the plagiarism tool may not be required for us. That is where we, a researcher, should reach. Now let us see some of the tools available. Things I gave. If you don't use any of this, or if you commit plagiarism, I first use no plagiarism, stop plagiarism. Now, if it is there, there is a mechanism by the institution, especially Gujarat University is following UGC's notification in letter and spirit. The first notification 2009, Gujarat University has uploaded all their theses, and they were number 2 in the country, where the education minister himself came and declared in front of VC that second position. All the PhD theses are digitized and put it in the Shodh Ganga based on the 2009 notification. Now, 2018 notification, they have revised, which mentioned about the punishment, what is plagiarism and what type of. So all of you will agree that it's not easy for a man to go and check whether it is cited or not, because manual detection requires substantial effort and excellent memory. So it's not possible to even an expert to go. That's why manual detection is very difficult, not easy. You need computer-based assistance. And how do you generally check plagiarism? If you don't have a tool, you can still check plagiarism. How do you check it? You take one line, cut and paste into Google. Any search engine, what you like, Bing, Google, Yahoo, Alta Vista. But Google becomes synonym with search engine now. That's why I took the example of Google. So if you take it, then that is the way you can find it out. But it's very difficult. Taking every line and putting into Google and checking is very difficult. It's as good as that manual work. So you need some software to do that. Now, how this software works? Software generally works as you see in the picture. It will go and check against certain databases. One is on the corpus database of the plagiarism software. That means if I am a plagiarism software developer, I will have an archives indexed or a database in the back, which will store all the articles checked in the check for plagiarism. So in India, as on date, 5.5 lakh documents are submitted only in this year in our software. All that copy will be available in the software which we are using. And I am sure Gujarat University is using Urkun software. Second, it will crawl to to internet. Sorry, to scroll in for the content from internet to find out whether there is any similarity. And third source, the biggest source, is the publications of that is publishers' content, journals which can be commercial or open. Commercial, what is commercial? The subscribed journal such as Elsevier, Taylor and Francis, Springer, JSTOR, AUP, IUP, all this, Oxford University Press, OUP. So American Chemical Society, ACS, all these published commercial publications, also plagiaries software is able to go and check, but they have to permit you for that. And custom repository, this is like a Shodhganga is a custom repository. So this software tried to get a fingerprint, digital fingerprint of all that and store it, which will be when a research manuscript is submitted, the document or test break into small blocks, chunks or phrases. Especially, I will take an example of Urkun, which will take in as paragraph or blocks, phrases, and submit to this and do a check here. Search for any similarity of phrases with any of this, and it will provide a report or generate a report called similarity report. So all the time plagiarism, it may not be plagiarism. There is a difference between similarity and plagiarism. The difference is similarity, even if you caught something, which also software will show. If you take somebody's content and cite him, still that content will be shown. So text matching is what is performed generally. So whatever is a sentence, similar sentence is appearing, that will be reported. That is what is similarity. But some of them, if you have cited, you can exclude it. So that will not appear into. So whatever is excluded, after that what is left is plagiarism. So who will decide about plagiarism? Supervisor will decide about whether this can be excluded or not. As a research scholar, you have to submit the entire content and you have to tell that these are the things I cited, so it may appear as in similarity report, but please exclude it from my report so that you can exclude. For the, let us say, the 20% is the original similarity report, 10% is crucial and you have done it proper light of acknowledgement, you can remove it. Anything less than 10% is accepted by UGC as per policy. Now, what are the tools? There are so many tools. I have listed very few here. Commercial tools are there, free tools are there, but free tool has some catch. So the first two tools I mentioned here is Check for Plagiarism and Drillbit software. These are Indian made. Now they are also working with Indian content, Indian regional language plagiarism check. So when we procured this software, it was not there, so we could not take this. Then UniCheck was a software. Now it is been merged with one of the popular software. Turnitin is one of the software which is highly used across world as well as in India also. And we are using Urkun. Means India, MHRD has recommended for a plagiarism software, selected as a plagiarism software, that is Urkun, and asked the university to use it for. Now the question comes, how safe it is? First one question number one. I cannot tell any of these sites unless I have an agreement with. So we had an agreement with Urkun, so we can tell that your content will not go out. And what about Turnitin? That is also a very popular professional software. So content submitted in this also may not go. The rest of them, you have to have an agreement, see that what is the policy of sharing. If you are writing an article on COVID-19 vaccine, and if it is shared, your data is shared with another person in the group, then the chance of you getting the credit will be lost. So that's why you have to be very safe on that. And paid and free, there is nothing called free. Every software allow demo, trial, or sometimes you have to, it will allow 1500 words. And right now the software which we use can check regional language only if it is in Unicode. In normal font, popular font like Kriti, etc., this cannot be checked. Now let us quickly go to some of these tools, and after that I will come back to what can be excluded or what can be included. So I am showing some of the tools now. I am taking you directly to the browser with an internet connection and show you the online tools available. So let me share the screen of that. So I came to the popular and the one which is Urkun, which is provided about 5,000 plus institution across 80 countries, which we have also procured through a national tender. And before coming to that, I will show one. This is what is called scanmyessay.com. It is called Viper. The link name is, and if you look at this, you can see they are telling powerful, and they have also comparison with one of the popular software, Turnitin. Now here, if you look at, they have a catch here. You have to buy credits. Now how much one credit? It is almost equal to €3. So €3 you have to pay for one credit, that for one submission. And you can buy more credit with lesser, there is a discount offer. So earlier this was free. Which one's Viper was free, but now it's not free. They have started charging on credit buys. Now, if you scroll down, it will show you how many of them are, what are the resources. Check for free check, and there is a mention of free check here, free check plagiarism. So you can try what you have to do, download it. It will get in your desktop. It will be downloaded, and then it will ask for, you have to register here. After registration, sign in. Then it will show the result like this. But as I mentioned, I am not very sure about the security part, etc. on that. The other one is Dupli Checker. Here also, this has proofreading as part of it, Dupli Checker. So plagiarism checker. Here there is a very interesting thing. 1,000 words can be cut and paste into your box. So if I want to cut, I can put it, this text is generated. Something like this, I keep on writing. So, or I cut and paste, or my complete. So 1,000 words means it is almost 3 pages, you can, total 3. And you can also choose a file. These are the formats are very limited here, and this. So you can start using any of this software. This is free for you to an extent. And then see, check for plagiarism, grammar check, that is also category of free, text analysis tool. So some of the things are available here in Dupli Checker. Then another tool is called ClackScan, and start your free trial here. So this is one tool which you can make use of, check user guide, etc. So single user, school, business, higher education, they are claiming 2,000 organization. As I mentioned, Urkund is used in more than 5,500. 1,000 is from India and 80 countries. So we have gone for a much acclaimed software on that. And there are other thing which is called Turnitin. This is Turnitin. I typed it wrongly while in a Jiffy, education with integrity and all this. So this is, and they also have another tool called, there are 3 Turnitin: Feedback Studio, Identicate, all these are there. And many of the university used it initially. We also recommended 2014. So many universities know how to use it. This is there in the market for a very long time. That other one is called Identicate. Identicate is also from Turnitin. The difference is that Turnitin has LMS component, but this here buy credit, talk to an expert, all these are there. And they all the Turnitin or Identicate says that among 3 editors, one encountered plagiarism regularly, and out of 10 editors, 9 tells that plagiarism detection software is useful for detecting. So, and finally, let us go to Urkund, which quickly I will take Urkund. You will have a login here. If you want to know guides and tutorial, click on this. If you come down, this is how it will look. You can book for a demo solution, but you don't need. If you are a researcher and a faculty member in Indian university, you are getting it free of cost. So for others, and I clicked on this login. So there are two logins appearing. One is this way, web application. This is for the user, and this is for administration. In Gujarat University, the library, university librarian is administrator. So that will not be given to everybody. Only university coordinator. Now let me try to log in with my credential. So login is very simple. Username, I have to use my own email ID and password. And if you look at, there are other login mechanism, but for here Indian University and students cannot log in directly. And I try to log in, click the login from. Now I am in the dashboard of Urkund with my username. Now if you look at this, you have a analysis address. When you register in what you need to work in Urkund, you need to get an analysis address. This will be authenticated by your university coordinator. So if you are a researcher of this and university decide to give, you can give this Urkund ID. You can get it from the university. Now this you have to remember, student, there are 2-3 ways you can submit document into Urkund. One is, if you know this email analysis address of your faculty, from your mail, Gmail, etc., you can directly send to this analysis address. It will come to the dashboard, like many people send it here. So I have multiple accounts. So I have one here, one second account here with 1000 document, 132. So I'm selecting the second analysis ID. Now you can see here, and all these documents are already checked. That's why it's showing here tick mark. This all tick mark means it is showing. There is one here, there is no tick mark. That means there is an error in the document. So there is no plagiarism report generated for this. So you will see every document, what is the percentage of plagiarism. Static 92, 100, 37, 48. These are the original document name, and there will be an ID for every document. And this is the test message you include, and size of this, how many words are there. So this seems to be the longest document here, 940. And who submitted it? I only submitted it. That's why my name is appearing here. Now let us come back to see. I'm taking you for a report, simple report. Let me take it a report here. This is 37%. And what is available otherwise on this? Here there is a setting. I can change my name or this password, etc. And I can also exclude 1 or 2 sites. Generally, university site can be excluded. Here there is an option. If you don't want to search in your Urkund archive, search in Urkund, you can put it down. Search. So Urkund archive will not be checked, but it is better search in Urkund archive also. So that is what about the settings. Now this report has, I am taking 42%. I am clicking on the 42% report. Now what you are going to get is the similarity report. Look at the similarity report. Meanwhile, you can watch series something called new here. If I go click here, it can take you my old format. Urkund was providing in different format earlier. Now this has 7 pages. All the snapshot image of the page is shown here. Now it is matching the color, wherever is color appearing, that is. So by looking at it, I can understand 7 has more plagiarism with the 2 big block plagiarized. One has, let's see, one has a bigger block plagiarized, 7 has 2 bigger block plagiarized plus more. This is what is. Now I want to know the detail about what is. So it is showing 49 matches are there with plagiarism. And somewhere in the blue color, if it means your special attention is required at the area, maybe there is a formula or something which system cannot understand. So warning means there is an unusual character on that document. Now let me go to one. Now total similarity is given here, 42%. Receivers, this man has submitted on an average of 28. Suppose 20 documents are submitted this man, I can understand what is the average percentage of this. And the name is given here. I only suggest you right now, give proper file name like this. Analysis of domain document by who is the researcher, Chandan Kumar. I got the full name from the document because this is required. Earlier when you submit a document, you can exclude this document, previous document. Now I am clicking on the findings now. I clicked on the finding and now by option code, brackets, detail, test difference, all are shown. If there is a code, it will be shown. And the left side, this portion is the original. This is from the matching. So 81% is matched here in this block. Now I am going to the next highlight. This is previous highlight, next highlight. I'm going to the next highlight. Now look at this. This is a bigger block where 94% of this content is same as this. Now I understand, since I checked the detail difference, here it is showing this is the extra addition, this color is the extra addition than this. So if it is cited properly, I can avoid taking it. I told excluding and go to the next one. And this also, if I cited properly, this is only name, so I can exclude this. I go to next. 98% of this block is seem to be copied. So this cannot be excluded. There is a serious reason that there is. And you will see if anything is put in bracket, generally authors' names are giving in bracket. So like this, you can check each and every thing and you can exclude it and include it with the, and this original source is given here. If it is available in other source also, alternative source is given here. There are 3 level sources there which is appearing. Even if we are avoiding one, still that plagiarism will be done. And what are the sources it shows? It shows school assignment in Urkund database, website, any website on open, and journal is a paid. So where from it, the first is website. ResearchGate is treated as a website. So many of the content is taken from website. This is again website. This is school. Means somebody has already, this man has already submitted the earlier document because I can read Dr. Chandan Kumar. So that I downloaded it to check it. This is the document. So I understood it is his own document. So I can exclude that. This is school assignment. School assignment is already submitted. So this is Urkund Archives. So these are the things where journal, right? So individual I can go how many places it is going. Now some of them I avoided, 42 become 36. You can see in the screen. Now let us check the entire document. This is one easiest method. Generally people prefer it. They can see immediately scroll down full document where it is shown. All these color tests are shown as, look at this. Color set are shown as copied one from internal sources. So this may be formula. Let us take this. I clicked on it. So I get both version here. Clicking on the right, I clicked on the right. These 4 boxes are shown there. Let me mark it with annotation so that you can see. This is where I clicked it. And when I click it here, it shows. Yes. Now this is, if it is cited, I exclude it. So my percentage might have come down. So the full document also I can see. So 3 ways of looking at the document: finding, sources, and that document. And you can download this report. This is export analysis report for permanent purpose. After excluding, you feel that this is 35 only. It has to come to below 10% for acceptance. When it is there, you can download this. Or if you make changes, then you can still do and reanalysis. Go to the previous, so 42, without any change. So we are going to previous. So this is the way how to look at the Urkund report. And more or less every software is working similarly like this. And now I showed you this is new Urkund. Now let me go for the old one. Now this is old report. Old report has only three panels. Maybe I explain it as 4 panels. This will show you the details about your document and percentage. 38% is there. Who submitted, document name, and this is the where it is copied. I just drag down, and now you can see here. If you look at here, these are the links. Here it is shown. Sorry. What happened? I have clicked on one of the links. This is the link. So it is showing 9 pages document from 9 sources. So the sources are showing here. The first 2 sources are ResearchGate. So I click on here. So I will understand how many blocks are copied from one. This is also very easiest method to do. So highest is copied content is the first, this article. So I select all this. I select all this. I'm clicking excluding everything. What I can exclude, it is given in the UGC notice. I excluded, it is 0 only. Percentage is 0 now. Now I select all full percentage. Now let us say first document is mine. So you look at here, it is 41%. Now I remove this, exclude this. Now what is the percentage? 38. Because it is my previous article. This is my previous article. It becomes 34. And other 3 things are cited properly. So I removed it. Gradually when I'm 5 links I cited and properly, my plagiarism becomes 19. Still it is not in the permission level. So this is how to exclude, but there are exclude conditions. And if you look at here, you can see this next block going block by block. These are the copied content. So if you see here 4 lines, that means this is available in 4 sources, 4 alternate sources. Even you are disabling one or excluding one source, that will not work. So that is how the report is to be shared. So I think I have shown you some tools plus some of the reports. Now what is to be excluded as per UGC? Let me show you. All quoted work as per UGC policy, clause number 7, all quoted work either falling under public domain, reproduced with the necessary permission. That is more important. Just citation, quotation will not do. You need to get permission wherever required. If not, otherwise cite. 90% if you cite, it's perfectly okay. That can be avoided. You don't need plagiarism check for that. All references, bibliography, table of content, preface, acknowledgement, that can be avoided. All small similarities of minor nature can be avoided. Then minor nature means 14 words, 10 words. Gujarat University, Ahmedabad in Gujarat, that all address or pin number, that will come to more than 10 words. So if that kind of similarities are there, you can exclude it, check it. And generic terms and laws, like what is generic terms? Generic terms means India got independence, general knowledge, standard symbol, equation. That means India got independence in 1947. But I am recording this on an Independence Day. So whom you are going to quote it? It's general knowledge. And standard symbols, Benzene structure in chemistry, Newton's third law of motion in physics. These are some of the common laws in the subject wise. So that can be avoided while checking. Or even if similarity that you can exclude it as per UGC notification. Standard equations, general knowledge. Now let us say plagiarism appears. Clause number 9 tells different levels of plagiarism in UGC. There are core area and non-core area. Core area is recommendations, future directions, your findings, abstract, all these are core area where 0%. You cannot have any plagiarized content in core area. Non-core area, it is 0, level 1, level 2, level 3. 10% similarity up to no penalty, it's treated as minor similarity and no penalty. 10 to 40 punishments are different for student as well as teachers. 40 to 60, then another level of punishment. Above 60, the serious level of punishment. Above 60 is treated, I'll tell you here itself. If it is student, registration will be cancelled after publishing an article which has 60% on plagiarism, and the committee in the university find it is correct. That will be. What can be excluded? Quoted work, references, small similarities, and like generic terms, standard symbols, standard equations. And there are 4 levels of similarities: 0, 1, 2, 3. 0 is up to 10%. If an article is published by a researcher, and if it is having less than 10% similarity, then there is no penalty. And 10 to 40 for faculty, 1 penalty; for student, another penalty. And 40 to 60, another level. And let me highlight on the last penalty. Above 60, student, if I publish and 60% is there, that means his registration will be cancelled. For faculty, it's 2 increment, consecutive increment, 3 increments will be cut. And 3 years they will mean 2 increment will be cut. 3 years they will not be able to guide any student in any level, PG or PhD. Or so that kind of punishments are there, but that punishment is decided by the university. There are core area and non-core area. The core area is the final recommendation of research, summary, findings, future directions, even abstract. These are core area where 0%. Non-core area, these are the percentage. So you can see all this is established only by putting to the committee. First, it will go to department committee, that is the DAIP, Department Academic Integrity Panel Committee. The second, this committee will report to institutional committee, 1 committee in the university, which is generally appointed by Vice Chancellor, not generally, everywhere it is appointed by Vice Chancellor. Senior most academician in the university will be the chairman of that, like PVC, Dean Research. And it will have 3 more members, 1 member from the outside institute, 1 member which generally comes in the from syndicate or the body or VC appointed, and the last member who understand the tools. So department committee will put into institutional academic integrity panel, and then the panel decide, okay, the percentage what they recommend is correct, then only the punishment comes, and the report will finally go to the principal, Vice Chancellor. Now this is the penalty. 0 to 10 I told no penalty. 10 to 40% resubmit the revised script within 6 months and withdraw the script submitted. That is what the for student. And 40 to 60% means he will be debarred for 1 year for submission. And 60 and above registration will be cancelled for student. What about faculty member? See, he has to withdraw the script in level 1 and 2 and deny 1 increment if it is 40 to 60, and 2 years he will not be allowed to supervise in any level. Now 3rd level, he has to withdraw 2 successive increment to cut and shall not allow supervise any. So this is what is the punishment. So what I want to tell you that be very honest, sincere. We are in both modules, we are talking about integrity, honesty, sincerity, good conduct of research. Why avoiding plagiarism and manipulation, misinterpretation? There are life consequences. To top it up, I'll tell you that half a dozen vice chancellors lost their position due to plagiarism. 2 dozen professors were challenged for plagiarism. Many premier institutes got into news because of plagiarism, which is a national shame. Some of the very senior academicians, scientists in the country also is being challenged for plagiarism. And we did not have any rule to tackle with that. Now we have a rule. So my humble request to you that please follow this UGC's notification in letter and spirit and do good research. Get the research result properly. And that is my final word to all of you. I generally show a lot of clippings from news, which I avoided today. You can also, if you want to join for a longer course, you can go to Swayam MOOC. I have taken some of the content from the Swayam MOOC module with the proper attribution by mentioning that research ethic course, where I am a PI. That course is now open. If you want to join for this course, you can register and join it. In August and September, it is open. And almost it started on 13th July, this course. So once again, I thank the HRDC team for giving me an opportunity, and to all of you for patiently listening. If you have any doubt, you can contact me through university, and I wish you all the best in your research. Let the country prosper, invented new innovations as well, new applications and new ideas and innovative projects which will be useful for the society. Thank you very much. Namaste. Goodbye.
I would like to thank the resource person for an interesting session. He has really opened various aspects of research to all of us. He has talked about such a topic which is really complex and which is really something which requires a lot of technical analysis and technical knowledge. But he made it very simple with his lucid and interesting talk with a lot of examples. I would like to thank resource person on behalf of all the viewers, on behalf of all the listeners, and on behalf of UGC Human Resource Development Center of Gujarat University, Ahmedabad. Thank you very much.